Some of you who follow my innervation IG see me do on occasion or hear me talk about ultrasound cavitation as one of the electric aesthetic services we offer. These aesthetic services are not done by an esthetician because here in Texas, you don't have to be one to do the ultrasound cavitation. But I want to make sure I can talk about the difference between like what CoolSculpting is and RF cavitation so everyone's kind of clear on it. CoolSculpting you may have heard about where they use like a cold wand of some sort to essentially freeze the fat cells to death. It's kind of a brutal process. The recovery is minimal. You know, you can kind of get in, get out the same day and live your life, but you may find the skin is a bit sensitive. It's kind of like a really targeted cryogenic treatment on a certain area of the body to kind of sculpt or kill those fat cells in that area. Those dead fat cells, they freeze, they shatter or what have you. The body absorbs them and processes them out through its natural systems, and you're left with like a differently shaped area. The downside of that is we do that a lot. The skin kind of loses its normal tone, the shape. Here's an example. I worked with a plastic surgeon in a previous job in a physical therapy clinic. He says he does CoolSculpting every week, sometimes twice a week. He'd done at least 30 sessions of it. And he pulled up his shirt to show me, and his stomach was flat, but it was flat and smooth like a hot dog, not flat and smooth like a man who does abdominal exercises. And so when I saw that, I thought, I don't want any part of that. I began to research other devices that do kind of body sculpting and came across one that uses ultrasound waves and radio frequency waves. The ultrasound waves are kind of like what you might use when doing a sonogram for pregnancy, but they're much higher powered and tuned to a different frequency. Those ultrasound waves, they disrupt the fat cells specifically because they're tuned to that frequency. They disrupt the fat cells and they cause little air pockets to fill, to get inside the cell, to cause them to burst or pop like bubble wrap. It's completely painless. Sometimes you hear like a tone in your head, but it's not uncomfortable. When those fat cells are ruptured, the radio frequency with red light comes along. Red light tightens up the skin for you. And the radio frequencies help kind of mobilize those disrupted fat cells into your natural lymph or bloodstream for processing through your liver and kidneys, and you excrete it out through exhalation or sweat. What I've noticed in using the machine myself is I'm able to get usually a ½ inch to an inch lost on my waist almost every session. And it's pretty common with my clients too. They'll lose between a ½ inch and an inch and a half around their waist every session. The first session is the best. After that, maybe it's an inch and then a ½ inch and then a ½ inch after that. Really cool technology. It's painless, non-invasive, takes you about a half an hour to an hour. You do it once a week, twice a week if you have access to the machine like I do. And I think it's been important for me in my own like weight loss journey recently, as I've lost a lot of weight in a short period of time, to be able to keep the skin tight and to not feel like a melted candle when I take my shirt off. So these radio frequencies and ultrasound cavitation machines like the one I have here at Innervation have been just a godsend for being able to sculpt the body in specific ways to disrupt the fat cells around the midsection or across the chest. I've been a big guy for a long time. I got a lot of extra tissue. And being able to get rid of those fat cells through my intermittent fasting, my fasted workouts, and through the ultrasound cavitation means I'm dropping weight fast and I'm dropping fat fast. And every week, typically when I get on the in-body scanner, the fat percentage is down about a full %, losing 1% of fat every week with very minimal muscle loss. So if you're interested, look up the ultrasound frequency or ultrasound cavitation